Hey, it's me, Sherwen, and the video I have to make is not on a. It's not going to be that cheerful today. It's a tribute video. I know I haven't been posting that many videos these past 5 months, but here's. I mean, I would. It would feel like I was. If it would, I think it would have been shameful if I didn't make this video. Because well, let me first tell you what this is about. Paul Sherwen, a commentator for NBC. He's cycling. Passed away this past Sunday. I'm currently filming this on December 4th, 2018. He this on Tuesday, and he passed away this past Sunday. He was a commentator for NBC Cycling, and he commentated on 33 Tour de France with Phil Liggett. And he also did other races like Paris-Roubaix, the World Championships. The Olympic. I read 5 Olympic Games, and he was basically kind of he and Paul Sherwen and Paul and his partner Phil Liggett were kind of the big duo when it came to cycling for in America, commentating for over 33 years. And I just wanted to make this video here because, as you may probably know from watching my videos, cycling is by far my favorite sport. I love it as much as I can. And Paul Sherwen and Phil Liggett were kind of the voices of my childhood when it came to cycling. I watched every stage of the past 12 Tour de France's, and I haven't watched a single stage without Phil Liggett or Paul Sherwen's commentary. And I mean, I remember finding out yesterday. It was at around 3 o'clock yesterday. And I was just looking on Instagram, and I worked on Mark Cavadis's account, and Mark Cavadis posted a Instagram story saying, "Rest in peace, Paul Sherwen," and my mouth just dropped to the floor, like, what? And I remember just going to Google and looking at Paul Sherwen, and I was just remember seeing all these just seeing the article saying, Paul Sherwen dies age 62 in Uganda. Age 62 in his home in Uganda. Listen, Paul raced a total during his was also a professional cyclist, and Paul Sherwen was also a professional cyclist, and his wife. He raced a total of 7 Tour de France's. He won 2 British national championships, and from what I heard, he was a pretty good guy. From what I read, I mean, I wish I could have met. Part of me wishes I could have met him. Yeah, I mean, from all I could read on him, he seemed to be a very nice guy, and I honestly think this is a loss for the sport of cycling. I mean, I honestly feel like cycling has lost one of its all-time greats from this. I feel awful. I mean, what I read, he was down in Uganda with his wife Catherine, which had been his off-season home for over a decade now. It was what I read was he was born in the UK and moved to Uganda and grew up there when he was seven. So he kind of had a home in that. I mean, I do honestly feel like that cycling just was one of his greatest, because he was a great commentator, and I I sometimes talk to people who their favorite sports commentators are, and Phil and I've always listed Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwen because here's the thing. Here's the reason why. I'll admit, while cycling is my favorite sport, sometimes there can be some pretty dull points in it. Say like a 6-hour stage plus 230 kilometers of flat. It's typically there's a bunch of riders riding their bike, and typically there isn't that much action and into the final 10 kilometers. And Phil and Paul just managed to keep my attention. Managed to keep your attention the whole time while the riders riding, and the fact they managed to do that just showed how great of a commentator Phil Liggett is, and how great of a commentator Paul Sherwen was. I honestly don't know what's the future, what they're going to do, what the NBC is planning to do from now on when it comes to cycling. And I honestly feel like part of I mean their cycling commentary first is this. I just feel like there's a big hole in cycling now. I mean, and there's a void, and I mean, if Phil Liggett wrote that, I think it was Phil Liggett. I've seen so many trivial messages. It's to Paul that there's now a big void in cycling, and I can't help but agree with that. I mean, Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwen, I said this a million times already, and I have to say it again. Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwen cycling commentary were the voices of my childhood, and I mean, it's just sad to know that Paul's gone now. He's dead. If by any chance any of Paul's friends, family, or loved ones see this video, I'm sorry for your loss. My condolences go out to you, his wife Catherine, his loving children, and my condolences go out to every single person who either knew Paul, who was either a friend of Paul, a member of Paul's family, or was just a fan of his. My condolences go out to them, and cycling as a whole, because I genuinely do feel like cycling just lost an all-time great. Rest in peace, Paul Sherwen. You'll be missed. Well, I'll see you guys later. Bye.